Hello. Very good morning to one and all sitting here, respected judges, my dear friends. This is Sumit Sharma from the Electronics and Communication branch to present a special topic, a topic of advanced research which is being done in almost all parts of the country, all parts of the world, that is technical theory of future prediction. Technical theory of future prediction is nothing but it's the fact that everyone wants to know the future. There is a future, past and present or everything. Just to know about what will gonna happen next or what are the probabilities that gonna happen next with respect to a particular place, with respect to a particular person are being determined here. Next please. What is future? First of all, for determining the future of a particular thing, we must know what is future. Future is nothing but a symbol of a time span. Time span is to decide what is present, what is past and what is future. A future, a step ahead in the timeline is called future. Like time is a number line which is being decided by the rotation of the earth, which is also called as fourth dimension. Time is determined as the fourth dimension which is being decided as per the rotation of the earth. To count the rotation of the earth in terms of a particular unit, that is called time. Next step of the fourth dimension, i.e. time, with respect to current time is called future. To jump into the next step is called future. Or to see the next step, what's going to happen next, what is the next number in the number line is called future. Every time, every second, we are being moving into the future. Like we are sitting here, timing is also running with us. That's what called that we are moving into the future. So to jump on the next part continuously is called determining the future. Next please. Like this is a timeline. A timeline of a common person like me, I have to go somewhere or I have done this thing before. To know about the thing that what gonna be the result of the thing which I am doing next or what gonna be the result of a particular object, a place in the future. That is called a timeline. Next. Basic methodology as per my theory. Since I have included this topic as per my theory because I have been googled on this topic but the result was nothing. So I developed my own theory, my own concept by reading different books and different other things. I have taken basically three different things for determining the future. First is astrology. Astrology is the older science predictions of the Hindu mythology. I have taken astrology from this which is capable of determining anyone's future as we are doing our science prediction, Rashi and all. Next is astronomy. Astronomy is nothing but the movement of planets around the earth which is being affected by various rotations and every human being, every place on the earth is being affected by the movement of planets. Next is technology. Technology, I have used technology just to interpret the data which I get from the astrology and astronomy into just that data that we can use. We can interface with us, we can study, we can read it. Okay. Based on the three basic things, I have also determined the three basic phenomena on the basis of which I could get a probability theory. That what could be happen next. The first is the studying history of a place, thing, or by studying the planetary motion, and the third is by variation of the frequency emission for a particular event that happens. Next please. First of all, study of a history. It is a well said fact that history repeats itself. It is a being saying of the fathers and forefathers. I have just taken this basic concept of repetition of history. As we know that a sine wave move in a periodic function starts from 0, reach pi by 2 and again pi. Then it again starts from 0, reaches pi by 2 and again 2 pi. This is called repetition of the history. By collecting the data fact of the dates and figures from the history, we can easily determine or we can get an idea of what things can happen next. I have taken two examples basically. First of all, the Halley's Comet. Halley's Comet move around the earth on an average of 76 years. It is a being fixed date. It varies in months and date as per the English calendar, but as per the Hindi calendar, it occurs on the same date, month and time. This is called repetition of Halley's Comet. Next is the polarity of the sun. The fact that sun polarity changes in every 12 years. The magnetic field lines of the sun changes in every 12 years, which is also a periodic function. Next please. These are two examples. Repetition of Halley Comet after 76 years. As we can say that Halley Comet moves and goes very near to the earth and in every 76 years. And next the change of the polarity after 12 years of the sun. Next please. This data can be collected and can be fed into a machine or can be digitalized so that we can get the exact value or probability that what could be happen next. The repetition of yugas. As we have 4 yugas in our Hinduism, I have taken the repetition of yugas. The yuga is of 5,000 years. Every yuga repeats itself after a particular time span. These are the time period of every yuga which repeat itself. So by any reason, like we have our epic Ramayana and Mahabharata, we can easily got to know that what all the things happened in the previous days, in the previous yuga, so that we could easily find what could happen next. Next please. Next is the study of planetary motion. It is a basic fact that the planetary motion around the solar system affects every person, every object and every place. If I am standing here and giving the presentation, that means I am also affected by each and every planet of the solar system. The basic concept, I will use this to determine the future. We can give this law of attraction by the Newton's, as Newton has also predicted, a law of attraction between all the planetary motion and the human beings, that is G(m)(m) over r squared. This was the law given by Sir Isaac Newton. But this law was previously given by our Hindu mythology, that each and everything is being attracted or repelled by the planetary motion, which provide their effects of the human on the human body on a particular place or thing. The forces can be negative or positive that determine on the type of planet or type of rotation or time period in which the planet is revolving. The data could be generalized in these slides so that we can get the second probability of the future. Next please. These are the examples of the planets, like high tide in the full moon days. We know that the tides are becoming very much high on the full moon days, and this is the astrological view of how each and every planet shows the effect on the human body on a particular place. Next please. The third is variation of frequency. This is a bit technological. We know that all frequency emits a certain type of frequency called a critical frequency. If we can say that this any change in the frequency of a particular order of a particular object that could be easily notified, we can easily determine what's going to happen next. The upcoming change in the place may lead to the change in the frequency which can detect the special movement. Like if we do yoga, if we do meditation, there are special different signals that we release from our human body, or there are definitely special signals that came across our human body that determines the behavior of the human body or that determine the actions of the human body. Like there are some model of 7 chakras of a human body which determine the 7 different frequencies which can easily be detected at what the person is doing right now. Next please. This is the technical view. Technical view of the 7 frequencies that a person is doing, and these will be defined into alpha, beta, theta and delta. These different frequencies define what the person is doing and what can the person do next. Nextly, a basic example, like rats definitely know when the flood is going to come. The elephants know when the storm is to come. The jellyfish and the other fishes know when the flood or the high tide is to come. So definitely they move from this side. These data can be collected using the technological view, so that we can collect this data and we can digitalize this data so that we can have a better interface with the technology, so that we can get to know what's going to happen next. Next please. First of all, need of devices and technology. The data which I will ever talked about, time up, or may I complete it?
Time up.
Okay, next please. This is the conclusion. I don't think I need to talk about it. And if anyone has any query, welcome.
So,
any queries, sir, ma'am?
Alpha, beta,
Theta and delta. Yes, sir. Sir, it's basically the frequency of the heart which is working in the human body, the brain which is working on human body. Each time a human body works, like I'm been moving, I'm releasing certain kind of frequency. Like I'm sleeping, I release certain type of frequency. If you can detect that, okay, there is a slight change in my this frequency, this kind of frequency, you could easily determine that, okay, this is the next step that I can do. This is the particular thing.
so only basing on that frequency?
No, not only basing on that frequency. Like I have already said, if flood are going to arise in a river, that means that there is slight change in the frequency of normal water which is there. So if we detect that particular frequency, that devices and other thing I was going to introduce there, but time was up. So we can easily determine that, okay, this is a set of frequency which is being changed in this type of area. So this could happen. This is a set of probabilities. Like adding the 3 probabilities, like I have given the history, the frequency motion and planetary motion. Adding the 3 probability, we can just determine that, okay, such and such thing could be happen in the future. We can just give a probability. It doesn't say that, okay, 100% such thing will happen, but it can easily give a probability that this thing we can make it happen. And we can take the necessary precautions as per such things. What is required.
So you can predict only natural calamities, or you can predict anything from this?
No, it is a thing that we can predict natural calamities also, but with respect to the human behavior, we can determine that, okay, such a thing could happen with respect to this human based on the planetary motion, right from the born of that particular person. Suppose that person is born on such and such date and year, we can easily determine what was the planetary motion, the exact location of the planets and the stars of that time, and rising the effect of that particular planet and star, what could be the behavior and what is the future of the person, which can determine that. Presently, these things are being practiced only in India, like we say Kundali and all. So what I'm doing to digitalize such things so that we can get an exact view of future. What can we do? What thing we do? Or what are the places in the world that can happen? These type of things. Thank you, sir.